The instrument itself is very new, like compared to a lot of classic and common instruments. It was created in Trinidad and Tobago, the islands down in the Caribbean, and it was made around the time of World War II. So these drums are like oil drums, and the American Navy was down there doing things during World War II, and when they would discard of these oil drums, they'd just leave them around. And they got to figuring out through a lot of other trial and error and things and different kinds of pans they were creating out of biscuit tins and things of that nature. They figured out that if they heat up the top of one of these drums, or I guess the bottom of one of these drums, and hit it, they could create these convex and concave shapes to create pitches. So when they're done playing, I'll talk a little about each instrument, but that's how that came about. And so they would cut different ones at different lengths. These are like the original full size. But they figured out they could make these instruments, make these beautiful, beautiful pitches, and evolved into like the more modern steel pan you see today. Some of the ones in Trinidad and Tobago are up to 120, 130, 150 size bands. So, and this is a 4-piece band. So it's pretty big and a pretty amazing thing that we're really excited to be a part of. So we've got one cool tune for you today. These are a group of 7th and 8th graders that actually auditioned to be in this ensemble, and they've worked really hard, and we're excited to share it with you. So this is Sugar Boom Boom by Lord Kitchener. It's a classic calypso tune for you. In the room. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. about this instrument is that, and it's something that we advertise a lot for people learning it too, is that it's typically taught by rote. So there's different styles of learning, styles of teaching, but one of the coolest things about this is that you don't need really any experience to play these drums musically, because we teach it in the style that they originally taught it in Trinidad, which is rote. So I show them, and then they copy, they repeat after me, or like I would play it, have them listen, and then play back. And so that style makes it easy for them to, like, they never have a sheet of music in front of them when they learn in this ensemble. So everything is memorized immediately. It's all muscle memory. It's all in them immediately, right? And that also, eventually, too, something we're working on is getting them moving a little bit more. And we're working on that part still. But that's another part that is fun, too, because when you're not behind the music, you can really get into it and feel it. Which is really cool. I did also want to kind of highlight Jakari here. He's playing our lead pan. That was an improvised solo, so that's not written down to read. It's really cool. It's another cool feature of this kind of ensemble is they have the creative freedom to be able to do that kind of stuff. So I'm going to talk about each instrument, and then we'll give you guys a second to come up and look and try. They're here to help teach you and show you how to hold the mallets and to play. So this first one, like I said, he just played as our lead. So I'm gonna have to put it up for him. This is the lead, right? So it's in the circle of fifths, which if you have some musical knowledge, it's kind of interesting of how it's laid out in that way. But this has got the highest range with the double seconds as well. But this is the instrument that typically is going to be playing your melody, your melodic line. Typically is going to be in these when you're playing them. The next one down that we have is a double second. It's called a double because two pans make one instrument, which is why you see one kid with two of these. So the notes, as we get lower in pitch, start to get larger. Just like if you see a flute versus a tuba, a flute is going to be playing a lot higher notes than that tuba is going to play. Same thing here. That's why we need more real estate on the pans. We need two to make the same kind of thing that we can do on one over there because we're starting to get into lower pitches. A double second sometimes plays a counter melody, or it might also play a comping rhythm, like kind of like a guitar would in a rock band, which brings me to this one. It's called a triple, or it's called a guitar.
Those are the notes actually in the
yeah, they are the notes in
well,
there.
So it helps them follow along.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So just like this, as we're getting lower, less and less notes in each pan, right? If you guys can see over there, less and less notes in each pan. Because they're getting lower in pitch, they're taking up more space. And again, we have 3 drums now creating one instrument. And this one is, again, triple or guitar. This one is typically going to be doing that comping rhythm, just like a guitar would in a band. And finally, back here, this is our 6 bass. They do make 9 bass as well, but we're going with 6. And this one has just 3 notes per drum. And again, it's set up a similar way to the lead. But it just needs more space. So at this time, if you guys would like to come up, we're going to spread out a little bit so we can get more people to come in and more.
How many did you have try out?
Gosh, 25, 30 kids.
And how did you make the final cut?
So we did it the audition by rote because obviously none of these kids had any experience with this. Some kids have had rhythm experience and band experience, so they have some musical knowledge. But what I did was I would play something for them and see how quickly they could play back. And then we did like rhythm copying. I was testing their ear and testing their ability to keep time. And then the other piece to it that we did too was, again, we're still working on. Part of their audition was to play something back to me while moving their feet. That was part of the audition, and we're still working on that one. But there were some people that did were more successful with that. But so that was kind of how I did it, and I kept like a little log of like, did they get it right away? Did it take them a couple times? That kind of thing, and then narrowed it down from there. And I did start with a larger ensemble, and it's kind of whittled its way down to this as people have joined sports and said, I think I'm a sports gal, and I was like, that's great. Awesome.
This is perfect. This is the one that I was waiting for all month.
Yeah, that's really cool. Does anybody else, I guess, any other questions before we let you come up and look? You can also ask questions while we're up and looking. Okay, great.
And this is part of the presentation today, so there's a little bit of an expectation that at least a few of you get back there behind the drums. Or we're going to be standing here looking at each other. So your participation is being graded this morning. And then we will have them play it one more time for those of you that snuck in a little bit later.
Okay, give me another. So we have the drum set and the auxiliary percussion is what it's called. We often in steel pan world will refer to it as the engine room because it's what keeps us chugging. So we've got our drum set player back there beside. We've also got 3 awesome stellar kids that also play steel pan, so we rotate and stuff. Switch. But so these three back there, they're playing 3 auxiliary percussion instruments. And we've got a shaker. Can you show a shaker? There it is, yeah, just like a normal egg shaker. We've got a cowbell back there.
Who doesn't
Yeah,
love
there's
a
a
cowbell?
Right.
Need more
A
cowbell.
couple people asked me if the kind of metal piece right there, Jackson's gonna play real quick. Yeah, sure. That is a brake drum, like from a car. And so it was used traditionally in like the calypso and soca music over in Trinidad and other places where they were playing that music. But it's used here. It's also often called an iron, but it's used just to add another color to that engine room in the back there. So, yeah.
We're going to have y'all do it one more time, and then again, we'll open it up for anybody else to play as long as you want.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes!
Oh, and someone had asked me as well too. These kinds of pans really like they make offshoots of them that are mass produced, but like every single one of these pans are handmade, and most of like they just good pans are handmade. And there's like 1 or 2 companies in like the United States that do that.
So for perspective, you all know I've been in my role for about a year, and 6 months into it, we got this mass delivery of the pans, and we had to back check. And it was almost 2 years ago that we had secured the grant and put them into production because they all are handmade. That it takes that long to do it. So
It takes a very long time. But someone had
stars aligned, and Miss Carlson came to Newport News. And here we are.
All right, here we go. This is again. A little more lower down. Here we go. Engine room 1.
Let's see some body movement.
Hey!
And go.
participating and coming and showing support to our kids all throughout the month. March is Music in Our Schools Month, along with about 10 other in our schools months. So we were glad that we were able to bring a little bit of what's happening out in the field in here to central office, and you all can enjoy. Again, the kids are going to stick around, so if you want to come and play and explore a little bit more, thank you, and we appreciate your support. Y'all enjoy your day.